accompanied by Benjamin C. Steele, and a combined weight of 24-karat gold. The team of Mr. Design, Tyler Klein, and the fashionista of professional wrestling, Couture,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ryse Pro Wrestling, January 14th, 2023. My name is Jim Lotto, being joined by one Ty Cross. And Ty, we have an absolutely barn burner evening to kick off the new year.
We're starting to move it off big. Wow. Tag Team Championships, the Runway trying to reclaim their gold.
Ty, we've seen in recent months the Runway have not been on the same page with their fearless leader, BC Steele. Interesting to note, it was 3 years to the day that the Runway was formed. Robert Parker Williams got sent packing, and on this anniversary, so to speak, it could be a true turning point for the Runway and BC Steele.
They're looking to get the gold back, and I think tonight they can.
Their opponents from Cleveland, Ohio, they are your Ryse World Tag Team Champions, the team of Malcolm Cambridge and Calvin G. Lewis, members only.
You know, Ty, we have seen an influx of young, energetic tag teams in this division in Ryse, but there may be no duo that has turned heads quite like Malcolm Cambridge and Calvin Lewis, members only. They recently took those very Ryse tag team titles and defended them north of the border in Canada for Greektown Wrestling, so international experience under the belt for members only. But tonight we are truly going to see if Cambridge and Lewis can cement themselves as the undisputed Ryse Tag Team Champions.
Well, and members only will forever live in the annals of the Ryse Tag Team Championships, being the first competitors in the history of Ryse to ever defend the title internationally. Huge for the company, huge for the brand, and huge for those two competitors right there. But can they hang on to the gold against a very solid, experienced former champions in the Runway? And here we go, action underway.
And Ty, this is what we expected, because last month it was a four-way matchup in which the Runway lost those championships. It is the Runway's chance to get a singles matchup, so to speak, team versus team. There's no outside interference, no multiple tag team matchup. We're going to see if the Runway can reclaim the belt. But they're out of sorts. Maybe they're a little over-aggressive, because we saw in November and December of last year, the Runway, being the more experienced tag team, took the younger athletes a little bit too lightly. They were a little too overconfident, and it came back to bite them.
But I also, if I recall correctly, Benjamin C. Steele not present at the event, the anniversary event in December. Could that have played a factor in them losing the titles?
That's absolutely right. BC Steele, he thought that his men, Calvin and Tyler, he thought they had it in the bag. He went on vacation. He got out of Pittsburgh, wanted to get away from the cold. While he was drinking a margarita on the beach, his boys lost the championships. And there you're seeing the wild card at ringside getting involved. The dynamic of this matchup changing completely.
And that's why I'm picking the Runway in this contest. They have Benjamin C. They got BC Steele back. They got their game plan in order. You see they're back to cutting off the ring, doing what they do. It's a 2-on-2 tag team competition here. I don't think that there's many teams in
Shoulders
this area
down here, Ty.
better than the Runway, and I think now that they're back in their element, this is going to be a big victory and a big stepping stone for them for 2023.
Beautiful butterfly underhook suplex, shoulders down here. And did you notice the bona fide mean streak of Tyler Klein using that forearm to crossface Calvin G. Lewis on that pinfall attempt?
It's demoralizing to do that to somebody, and it's really a mental game. You don't know if you're going to get the pinfall, but you definitely know you're going to rub some dirt in the wound of your opponent when you do something like the forearm. And here you can see rubbing dirt in the wound, BC Steele.
And we know that BC will get involved anytime an opportunity presents itself, but maybe BC's being a little bit too proactive. Maybe he's doubting his prospects here.
Got to be careful because you can get your team cost the titles here.
I really think that we have to wonder if the Runway and BC Steel are truly on the same page after these miscues the past few months. I'm not one to start rumors, but we've heard the scuttlebutt around Ryse that BC Steel and the Runway have been in odds.
I haven't heard anything like that. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case personally. I think that they are on the same page. The Runway is back, Steel Corp is back, and things are going to start looking up after tonight.
And just as we saw with Tyler Klein, we're seeing the bona fide mean streak of Calvin Couture. For my money, dollar for dollar, the Runway, the most cohesive tag team unit anywhere in the Pittsburgh area and beyond. But that's all going to be put to the test here.
Lewis is going to have to look to get out of this ring sooner than later because things are starting to pile up. Every maneuver is like another injury piling up, and it becomes insurmountable if you don't get out of that ring in enough time.
And did you notice that Tyler Klein positioned his body between the two members of members only, no pun intended.
That's veteran maneuvering
making,
right
there. Like that right there, making sure that Calvin G. Lewis did not have a clear path to Malcolm Cambridge. And where did Cambridge end up? He's still on the apron. Calvin Lewis in the wrong part of town in the Runway corner. That is no accident. That is no coincidence. That is tag team strategy 101.
And I actually invented that, believe it or not, that strategy.
I don't believe that whatsoever. But as we're going to continue here, we've got Lewis who's being grounded, and this is the Runway's MO.
Lewis is fighting back, though, here. These clubbing shots to the ribs might not look like they're doing a ton of damage, but the ribs is so sensitive.
Tag there, but referee Nick Brown distracted by BC Steel. And you can't blame Nick Brown in this exchange. He didn't see the tag. He can't calls what he doesn't see. But that's going to allow Calvin Couture and Tyler Klein to exploit the advantage even further.
And that 3-on-2 advantage Benjamin C. Steele brings to the table, I'm telling you.
It looks like 6 o'clock, my friend. And
Up
there you
and
go.
Down. Near fall there. You don't often see the suplex like that getting the victory, but for a split second I thought maybe this might be it here for the champs.
Well, as we've highlighted in the opening moments of this matchup, we know that it's been a rough few months for the Runway. But guess what? That all disappears if they reclaim these championships.
That's why tonight, I think, is the turning point.
It's a pivotal moment. It really is.
Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. Return fire, not quite as loud, but still definitely laid in some damage. Look at these forearm shots, though.
And you can see how much this matchup means to these teams here.
Big line, wow.
Mid-ring collision, everybody collapses in a heap. And it could be a very definitive moment in this contest because whoever can make that tag first will certainly have an advantage toward the conclusion of this contest.
This crowd chanting members. Lewis is trying to make the tag here. Got it.
And man, Couture got steamrolled right there. Not often that you see that. Couture shrugs him off. Man, Calvin ducked his head and got caught and spiked into the canvas.
Huge snapmare driver there, face first. I think this is over. I think the champs retain.
Calvin again dropped on his head. Series of offense finds.
Now it's broken up.
That may have been all right there had Mr. Design not interjected himself. But look at Tyler Klein, face buster on Cambridge.
A huge standing bulldog, very impressive.
And things have completely broken down here.
Wow.
Swinging fisherman's buster racks the neck of Tyler Klein, but look out for Calvin Couture.
Kick to the kitchen sink. Overdrive coming, got it!
And look at the intensity in the eyes of Calvin Couture. No doubt how bad he wants those championships back.
Calvin spent years in Ryse Wrestling trying to obtain those tag titles, finally got him to have them taken away. Might be driving him a little mad.
And you can see just the extra edge tonight on the Runway They have that chip on their shoulder. Ukrainian leg sweep combination right there. Hooks
It
that
is
leg.
over. No!
I'm as shocked as Calvin Couture right now. That was the Runway signature coup de grace. That maneuver has won this team championships, but it was not enough on the night that Ryse Wrestling kicks off 2023.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
missed you.
second.
BC Steel just clocked Couture.
Right in the lower back with the design hook.
He just clocked Calvin Couture. Couture is out of it here. Members only going to exploit the advantage here. Calvin gets powerbomb, center ring.
Unbelievable.
And the ultimate miscue from BC Steel.
And still, your Ryse World Tag Team Champions, Malcolm Cambridge and Calvin G. Lewis, members only.
BC Steel stuck his nose in one too many times, and it was the ultimate mistake.
When you go to the well too much, it runs dry, and the well ran dry there for the Runway.
The playbook of the Runway has come unraveled.
And the champs retain the titles.
Couture and Klein look absolutely livid in the center of the ring, and now BC Steel has some explaining to do. 3 years ago to the day that the Runway was formed with BC Steel, and it's not a happy anniversary. Where does this leave BC Steel and the Runway?
It leaves them totally connected. Everything's fine. They'll get another shot. Wait a second!
Now wait a minute, Couture and Klein are... Well, Couture is siding with BC Steel. If you remember,
This is
Steel
just
has been an
disagreement.
advisor for Couture even before we saw Tyra Klein here in Ryse.
This is a small disagreement.
And if anybody deserves that, it's BC Steel.
What are we seeing here? The disillusion, the disintegration of Steel Corp.
I believe BC Steel was just handed his resignation papers. Hit the bricks, pal.
Wait, what is this? They're not done.
The Runway are going to exact some revenge from the man that cost them the championships.
BC Steel's laying in the ring with a broken chain, a broken groin, and it's just getting worse. Did we just see the end of the Steel family line?
Some scenes speak for themselves, Ty. I don't know where this leaves Calvin Couture and Tyra Klein, but I'll tell you what, it certainly leaves BC Steel in a broken heap in the middle of the Ryse ring, and to a nicer guy, it couldn't happen.
Introducing first, from Washington, D.C., weighing in at 235 pounds, he is magnificent Gerard Garrett.
As Ryse action continues here, we're seeing the great success. Ty, as we know, the successful St. Jordan Styles sustaining an injury at our 6th anniversary spectacular. But the great success is still rolling heavy, because Gerard Garrett, that man right there, the great Alexander, and that hired hitman in the background there you see him, Johnny Norris, are more than enough to put Ryse on notice here.
That's great Alexander, the man with the plan. Always a backup, next man up. You're not going to see the Great Success stumble and fall in 2023. Not with the Great Alexander leading the way.
All things considered, as we open 2023, you have to think this may be the year of the Great Success before it's all said and done. A young man that has grown by leaps and bounds, a young man we've seen evolve before our eyes. One Tad Jarvis really started to put a formula together in 2022 and looking to carry that momentum into the new year. But as we said, he has a very tough test in front of him tonight in one Gerard Garrett.
And you could argue between Tad Jarvis and Great Alexander, two competitors that could have easily been voted as the most improved competitor in Ryse Wrestling for 2022. And now he's stepping in the ring with Gerard Garrett, who could very easily become that in 2023. And it all starts right now. We're going to see, I'm thinking big things for Gerard Garrett in 2023, and it starts here.
You could see Tad putting on some size. He must have been training heavy for this matchup.
Absolutely. Well, Gerard Garrett's a big guy. You got to train for the matchup in front of you.
Gerard Garrett, a true blue chip athlete, absolutely no flaws in his game. He is well-rounded. He is well-versed in every aspect of professional wrestling. In every aspect of sport. When you're as successful as Gerard Garrett at so many different sports, you take on wrestling because it's the next challenge for you to conquer, just like he's conquered every other challenge ever put in front of him in his life. Escaped out of that side headlock with the waist lock. Now it's Tad Jarvis looking for a way to escape. Standing switch. And immediately Gerard Garrett goes into defensive mode. That's wise wrestling. You don't see a lot of competitors with the combination of size, athleticism, and affluence like you see with Gerard Garrett. I mean, it's a total package. Garrett is a really cerebral athlete, He is a thinking man's wrestler. He's not going to make any mistakes. He's going to be very methodical and very precise inside those ring ropes. But when it comes to Tad Jarvis's heart, he's the fighting man's wrestler. And he's going to give everything he's got to try to come up with a win. We've seen him go 2-on-1 against two other competitors with no partner. We've seen him withstand so many difficult odds. This is just another challenge in the way for Tad Jarvis to rise to the occasion. There we're seeing Garrett use his size there, puts Jarvis down to the canvas, and that may be the one chink in the armor, the arrogance of Gerard Garrett. Up and over he goes. Leapfrog from Tad. Big takeover with the hip lock. Deep arm drag to follow up. And Tad Jarvis stringing the offense together, sending Gerard Garrett to the floor. Taking a timeout, smart move for Gerard Garrett. Absolutely wise wrestling to break the momentum. But this may be a mistake. It's not about Instagram Live, Facebook Live. Maybe not for you, but you're not a social media icon. Well, you should be worried about the damn match. 7.2 trillion followers on social media. And that's what they pay to see. You pay for social media, right? No. That's a strike. I got to get my credit card number. This is unbelievable, though, what we're seeing from Tad Jarvis here. Taking out all members of the Great Success. Oh, wait, here comes Norris. Now, wait a minute. This is right in front of the official. Brian McGowan should assert some authority here. Get Johnny Norris the hell out of here. Are you going to assert authority against someone like Norris? I have to keep authority over you, pal. Oh, well, that's a fair point. Now, Gerard Garrett here going to exploit the advantage one way or another, by hook or by crook. Ethics are not a strong suit of the Great Success. In fact, Gerard Garrett has the ethics of one Bernie Madoff, if you remember that name. I do, actually. Tad Jarvis is in a bad way here. Garrett almost ripped that shoulder right out of socket around that steel post. That's what I'm talking about when I tell you he's a thinking man's wrestler, using the ring as a tag team partner, using the ring as a weapon. You know, the greatest wrestlers use the environment, not just themselves, not just their bodies, but the tools they have around them. And Tad trying to follow up here. Oh, man, wow. He got cut off. Right in the kitchen sink. Just buried him to the breadbasket that time. Driving all the air out of Jarvis. I'm going to follow up here. Beautiful gut wrench side salto suplex That's that technical side, Garrett, we were talking about, forcing Jarvis to expend the energy to get that shoulder up.
Tad Jarvis, such a hard competitor to keep down, to keep the shoulders planted on the mat. Not the biggest, not the quickest, but certainly one of the toughest competitors in this company and in Pittsburgh for that matter. And Gerard Garrett, the kitchen sinks, the suplexes, butterflies, belly to bellies, whatever you have to do, you have to give that much more. You have to put that much more on it because you can see here,
shoulders down here.
Tad Jarvis, so difficult to keep grounded.
And again here, Jarvis going to try to get that quick pinfall. And for the first time in this contest, we're seeing Gerard Garrett thrown off just a little bit, but will it be enough?
But see, all these pinfalls and maneuvers aren't going to get the job done if you don't catch them, because Gerard Garrett sustained essentially no damage from that exchange and now is right back on top. Rolls and pins are great if you can get something locked in for the 3 count. Otherwise, you're just out there looking fancy, scoring some points with the judges, but overall, you're not dealing any damage. And Gerard Garrett, still, the health meter, you got to think is in great shape compared to Tad Jarvis right now.
Very wisely done. Is Gerard Garrett going to focus on the arm, following up from that ring post shot from earlier in this contest. And of course, Gerard Garrett very proud of himself. He's not shy about patting himself on the back.
Don't blame him. If I was a successful, big and handsome, look at this. Speaking of big and handsome, Johnny Norris, wow. Just strangling Tad Jarvis. Look at the height advantage he had. That much of a height advantage on a strangling maneuver like that. I mean, it creates that much more to that kind of strangling damage. Wow.
Gerard Garrett was grinning like a Cheshire cat, but he was a little overconfident. Gonna pay for it here. We're gonna see if Jarvis can really muster some momentum here off the ropes, but he got cut off. That is some ring generalship right there.
What a lariat. Taking his time, he knows it's over here. Lackadaisical cover, but no, it's Tad Jarvis. You gotta put more into it than that with Tad.
If you're not gonna hook the leg, you're not gonna be successful here in Ryse. That's what it comes down to. I don't care how good you are. But we know that's the arrogance of Gerard Garrett. No surprise there.
Slow, methodical, swinging neck breaker. Letting Tad think about it.
Man, we are getting closer and closer.
I thought it was over there.
The lights may be fading on Tad Jarvis. You have to think it's a big night for the Great Success. Later this evening, the Great Alexander going to take on AEW star Brian Pillman Jr., a featured contest on this card. So the Great Success looking to clean up here as we kick off the new year.
Big enziguri.
Right on the chin. Gerard Garrett's going to be checking his teeth after that one.
This is where Tad is able to pick up the momentum. The crowd gets behind him. He feeds off of that energy more than most competitors in this company. He feeds off that energy. And he's going to try to turn this momentum around here.
Both men back up to their feet here. Who's going to capitalize? Jarvis got overzealous and paid for it.
Gerard Garrett taking his time. Smart. Wait, no, here we go.
And there's the momentum of Jarvis.
And this is where you don't want to be if you're Gerard Garrett. Knee to the throat. Big backdrop, wow.
And you can see Tad fighting through the pain, fighting through the adversity. That is a sign of a true competitor right there.
Too much distance. You let Gerard Garrett create too much distance. You got to start that run a little earlier before the head comes around, or you're going to get caught.
Jarvis counters here.
Wow, what a spear.
He cut him in half center ring, and that could be all. Could be all.
Wait, what's happening? Oh, you got to be kidding me.
And Brian McGowan, again, needs to assert some authority here. And
He's
what
trying.
did Johnny Norris just pass to Gerard Garrett?
He's trying. There's just too much.
What does Gerard Garrett have in his hand?
Oh, that's Tad's phone. Oh, saved the phone. Wait, no!
Miscue from the Great Success.
Go for the driver, can't get it, but it's a roll through.
Shoulders down.
He got him!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match has the result of a pinfall. The social media icon.
It was 3-on-1. Jarvis overcame the odds, but not for long, because now he is going to get mugged in the center of the ring.
He went for that wheelbarrow buster, but the shoulder gave out. Still smart, turning it into a roll-up. And if I'm Gerard Garrett, I am furious, because I believe, if I check my notes here, that is the first singles loss for Gerard Garrett here in Ryse Wrestling. And to lose with a roll-up like that, gotta be frustrating. But this is uncalled for.
Oh, look out, man. That mercenary, Johnny Norris.
Goozle, here we go.
Earning his paycheck here. The man that works for the money, the remorseless mercenary Johnny Norris, just planted Jarvis into the canvas. What should have been a milestone victory has been spoiled courtesy of the great success. The results of this matchup may have had Tad Jarvis on the winning end, but he certainly doesn't look like a winner right now. And on this night, what else could the great success have up their sleeve as Ryse kicks off 2023?
Check the hit list, how we twist shit, what changed with the name. Weighing in at 215 and 1/4 pounds, he is your trash, Ron Mathis!
The man that some call too wild for Ryse, pure trash Ron Mathis. Every time this guy is in a Ryse building, he turns it all upside down. He brings chaos to the ring, chaos to ringside, chaos to the seats. Ron Mathis has made a career of wrestling matches that include barbed wire, light tubes, chairs, tables, thumbtacks. Quite simply, there is no chance that Ron Mathis will not take to claim victory.
And I'm getting word, if I heard correctly, Red Watson announced this match is falls count anywhere. And I'm getting word that was discussed before they came out here. I think Ron Mathis trying to maybe flex a little leverage, holding the company up, saying, I want my matches my way or I won't be here.
Brother, I'm telling you what, they get anywhere within 15 feet of this table. Don't tell me to watch out. You be talking to yourself. I'm out of here.
And introducing his opponent.
We've seen Ron Mathis go after security, anybody in striking distance.
Weighing in at 195 pounds, he is the Iceman, Tony Johnson!
If you were to pick one person in all of Ryse Wrestling to represent what this company stands for, it's this man right here, Tony Johnson, the Iceman.
A perennial athlete, one of the pillars of Ryse Pro Wrestling is the Iceman, Tony Johnson.
And if there's one thing we know about Ron Mathis, he loves tearing pillars to the ground.
An ultra athlete, ultra prepared, and ultra competitive is the Iceman. But this is a completely different equation, Ty.
Ron Mathis scares me, man, like you would not believe.
When a man has a haircut like that, you know he's got nothing to lose.
Don't, listen, this audience is allowed to chant and cheer whatever they want, but don't make him any angrier than he already is, please.
You see those scars on his arm, Ty?
Oh, it's just terrifying.
He didn't get those playing checkers, I'll tell you that.
What do you say to me?
They're just making him angrier. Somebody please get this mic working.
Do you know why this match is a no DQ false count anywhere?
I don't.
Because Ron Mathis does what Ron Mathis wants.
I knew it. I knew it. He held the company up for a false count anywhere match.
And what I want to do is turn Ryse Wrestling into pure trash.
Oh, man.
And it starts with you, Iceman. Shut up!
Tony looks completely unfazed. And here we go, it's underway here. Now I think it'd be wise of Tony to try to keep this in the ring. It might be false count anywhere. Well, there you go. I was gonna say it might be false count anywhere, but that doesn't mean you have to take the stipulation. Do what you know how to do. Keep it in the ring. Do what you do best. Don't go into Ron's environment, which is exactly what Tony's doing here.
That VIP section is going to get their money's worth tonight. I'll tell you that, man. Look out.
This is great. This is awesome for Tony. It's all fun and games right now, but if...
What the hell are you talking about? Fun and games with Ron Mathis?
That's what he's doing. Look, he's having his fun. He's chopping, he's kneeing, he's clubbing, he's smiling.
The hell are you talking about?
When you're in that environment, if things change for the worse for you, you're stuck out there. Tony needs to try to get this thing back in the ring for his own good.
Trust me, there's nothing fun about fighting Ron Mathis. Ron Mathis is one dangerous individual, brother. I'm telling you that right now. There is no shortcut he won't take.
I think we're going to see a big suplex on the floor here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, Tony. Fight your feet down. He's doing it. Wow.
And the expression on the face of Mathis tells you that story. And on some level, this guy enjoys that pain. But you're right in the sense that this is Mathis' environment. This is not with Tony's trademark here, but we're going to see some trademark offense in an unfamiliar environment. Twisting backbreaker on the floor.
And he went down one entire block to do it. Again, I got to disagree with the strategy here, Tony. You got to let Ron, got to get it back in the ring because you don't want to be out there. You want to fight the shark on land, not in the ocean, and that's what he's doing. He's fighting a shark in the ocean.
The impact tells you the MO of Ron Mathis. Causing punishment any way he can.
But see, Tony is a competitor. Tony wants to fight people at their best, and he knows in a false count anywhere situation, if fighting Ron at his best means fighting him out here on the floor, amongst the fans, amongst the weaponry, that's what he's going to do because he wants to prove that he's the best. He wants to prove he can beat Ron in his own environment. It's the Goku mentality. I want to fight you at your best.
What does Mathis have planned here? Off
Tornado
the pillar.
DDT.
And I believe Iceman fighting with a sense of urgency here because he knows how dangerous Mathis is.
Oh, he got it!
Returns the favor, and Ron Mathis getting spiked on the floor here.
And I think even Ron Mathis' head would be ringing after that.
And finally, Johnson may get some surcease from the offensive assault of Ron Mathis, who just bull rushed the Iceman in the opening moments of this contest.
It's so impressive what Tony's able to do, how he's able to adapt to any environment as a fighter, as a competitor. He's so good and so talented at this sport.
Dangerous situation here, Ty. They're teetering on that apron right above the floor. Mathis gets taken in the hard way, but who knows how long that this match will last inside the ring ropes because it's falls count anywhere in the building.
Ron using the referee to cut Iceman down in the prime of that maneuver.
And you can see that the direction of this matchup changing here. does not bode well for the Iceman, because we know how dangerous Ron Mathis can be.
Returning the favor with a European uppercut there.
We know how violent Ron Mathis can be.
Worst of all, we know how deranged Ron Mathis can be.
High risk situation right here.
Oh! Ron Mathis.
He's eccentric, but he has agility. I can't argue that point.
Underneath those piles and piles of trash that is Ron Mathis is an athlete and a great professional wrestler. He's been a heavyweight champion all over the state of West Virginia.
He was also a former Combat Zone Wrestling heavyweight champion.
Yes, exactly.
Lateral press here. And Ron Mathis, I believe, a 15-year plus professional, showing you his years of knowledge, because that body-on-body contact, that lateral press, forced the Iceman to kick out. There was no daylight in that pinfall attempt there.
You gotta wonder what's going through Ron's mind right now. Oh!
Small package!
Right now it's, I gotta kick out.
Man, Mathis cut Johnson off center ring.
He is just deranged. Everything he does has that little bit extra power behind it, that little extra torque behind it, and I think that's the psychosis.
Again, you saw moments ago the scars on the arms, the wounds of war on the flesh of Ron Mathis. More proof he'll do anything to win a matchup.
Big scoop slam, wow.
I believe Johnson may have racked his head that time, favoring the neck on the way down.
Oh, this crowd is starting a chant. You can't beat him. That is going to torture Ron Mathis. And can he beat him? I don't know if he can. Tony's got so much fight.
Sense of desperation there, using his head as a weapon to try to generate some space between himself and Mathis.
I will say, as accomplished as Mathis is, I think in between the ropes, you got to go advantage Tony Johnson.
Absolutely. But this is where that Falls Count Anywhere stipulation favors Mathis.
Wow, oh no.
Man, Johnson may have wrenched his ankle and now he's trapped. He is at the mercy of the merciless Ron Mathis.
And the official can't do anything to help in this situation.
It's no disqualification. Referee Nick Brown is powerless here.
I mean, you got to think Ron can pin the shoulders down right here, and Tony doesn't even have a leg to kick out with.
And Johnson is completely trapped. The tension on those ring cables.
The blood is getting cut off to that foot right now. So even if the foot does come out of those ropes, it's going to be numb. It's going to be sleeping.
Tony Johnson was defenseless right there and taking unprotected shots to the face from Ron Mathis.
That was one of the most unbelievable situations I have ever seen. Something as simple as a cross-body press turning into possibly a broken ankle. What is this?
What is Mathis looking for? He knew where to go.
It's the old Ryse staple. It's the door.
Now, wait a minute. We've seen Mathis.
I don't think this is a smart idea by our security. You don't want to get involved. That's why. Ron Mathis has taken out security before. He'll do it again.
We may need the Uniontown's finest in here to control Mathis before this night's over. And clearly Mathis had a plan. What the hell is he doing?
Oh, no!
That's our security. That's not a wrestler. That's not an athlete. This is our security.
And I think that's the biggest security guard we got. So what are the rest of them going to do?
They're going to run. The same thing we're going to do if that psychopath comes over here.
Ryse Wrestling belongs to me. It very well might. But Tony's sneaking up behind. Ron doesn't see him.
Ty, I'm telling you, they come over here, I'm leaving.
This is bedlam.
I'm out of here.
I'm already standing up. Okay, they went the other way. I'm still going to be on my feet because this is intense right now.
Oh, man. They are fighting in the second row. Third row, excuse me.
They're amongst the fans, and now security's making their way over.
We have a huge crowd for this signature event, and these two may fight through everybody.
Ron got back in the ring. You know Tony's got the advantage on the outside if Ron has to run back into the ring to try to get away.
This Uniontown crowd behind Johnson.
Huge uppercut.
He sent Mathis up to the ceiling before he came down with that shot.
What a kick. Ron's on spaghetti legs.
Mathis may be dizzier than usual. Watch out for the
Springboard
handspring.
kick. Handspring kick. Ron's brains are turning to mush.
Could the Iceman have it here? No.
That was 2 straight kicks directly to the temple.
That is the durability of Ron Mathis. That's what we've talked about. Everything he's endured in his career, all those dangerous matches, he is durable. He can take a hurting. Which is why none of us like Ron Mathis' attitude. But you can't deny the guy's toughness. You just can't.
Tony's walking with a limp here. There's definitely something wrong. And Tony going to the door. This is a little foreign for him here. Not known as a weapons expert. But the man can adapt to any situation and any environment. So I think that's what we're going to see here. Tony adapting to the stipulation.
Well, Johnson may realize that he has to do something. He has to try to figure out something to defeat Ron Mathis. That door may be the key for Johnson.
This is the embodiment of fighting fire with fire.
Look out.
Ron worked out.
Out the back door, and the Iceman is now in a very precarious position.
It is a violence party now.
The head bouncing and ricocheting as Mathis just hammers away from Johnson.
And he's going again. Tony's got to get out of dodge. The leapfrog.
Look out.
Oh, Ron's saying now, I ain't running through this door. Oh my goodness!
Mathis just got sent through the door.
Ice pick kick through the door into the buckle.
And this may be the opening for Tony Johnson.
Huge spinning Uranagi. The flash drive, is this over? No!
What is it gonna take?
Ron Mathis may be the toughest man to ever set foot in a Ryse wrestling ring. The ice pick kick through the door, and then a flash drive into an immediate no delay cover.
We are seeing a fight in Uniontown.
Oh no! Oh,
This is dangerous.
you have got to be kidding me!
Pile driver on the apron. Remember, falls count anywhere. He got him. Ron Mathis, what we could call an upset. Ron Mathis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match has the result of a pinfall. Pure trash, Ron Mathis.
Mathis came into Iceman territory. He came into Tony Johnson's house and turned the whole damn building upside down. That was a hell of a fight, a hell of a war in Uniontown.
You got to wonder, this might be Tony's house, but if there's no rules, is Ron Mathis the owner of Ryse Wrestling?
And I'm a little worried to say it, Ty, but Ron Mathis may try to tear Ryse upside down in 2023.
Introducing first, representing the great success, he is the Shining Diamond
The term pro wrestling prodigy gets thrown around a lot, but there may be no young athlete in Pittsburgh that fits that description quite like the great Alexander. There's nothing that young man can't do inside the ring ropes, and there's nothing he's not willing to do outside of it. And considering the opponent, one could say that this is the biggest match in that young man's career. He was born in Cincinnati. He trained in Calgary. You can see him on television in Jacksonville. But tonight, Brian Pillman Jr., the second generation loose cannon, is in Uniontown for Ryse Pro Wrestling. A student of the underrated legend Lance Storm, Brian Pillman Jr. has all the tools to be an international superstar.
He's the son of a legend, trained by a legend, and in his own right becoming a legend. And this is a stop on that journey, and the great Alexander is just a speed bump, potentially, for Brian Pillman Jr.
I believe Brian Pillman Jr. entering his 6th year of competition. As we've mentioned, trained in Calgary, dramatic pause, Alberta, Canada by Lance Storm.
And the official, I just noticed, asked if Brian was ready, and he said, I was born ready. You got to believe, if anyone in this locker room, Brian Pillman Jr. was born ready.
Professional wrestling is in his blood. The son of the late great original loose cannon, Brian Pillman Jr. has been continuing that legacy all over the independent scene and, of course, on national television with All Elite Wrestling. But as we said, that's why it's such a chance for the great Alexander. If Alexander can knock off Brian Pillman Jr. here in Uniontown, that will put the wrestling world on notice. Ty, you know as well as I do, some of the most mindful and wisest eyes in the business will be watching this matchup.
Absolutely. This tape is going to linger for a long time. And a lot of people are going to see it, so you got to think the great Alexander's got that sitting in the back of his mind. Now, he manifests success. He believes that he is great success. But is this going to shake him up? We don't know. It's looking a little early like he's a little shook.
You're seeing that Lance Storm pedigree from Pillman Jr., that mat work, maintaining that front chantry as the great Alexander tries to extricate himself here. Alexander trying to work his way back up to a vertical base to neutralize the pressure here. And we know that Alexander won't miss an opportunity to take a shortcut.
Both competitors in incredible condition. But you got to think Pillman's got the size advantage, he's got the strength advantage. And at the level that he competes, you know, an international competitor right now, at that size, does he have the speed quickness advantage? You got to think the style that he wrestles, the style that his father wrestled. We're going to see here if he's got the advantage in all three major facets.
And look at Alexander going step for step with Pillman Jr. here, who returns in kind. That is a true natural in the squared circle right there.
Pillman Jr. going to pull out tricks great Alexander's never even thought of, let alone seen.
And Pillman one step ahead. I believe Pillman playing some mind games with the great Alexander. Don't be confused. Pillman knows exactly what he's doing. Gonna take a seat in the front row with the Ryse faithful.
Brian Pillman Jr. just taking it in from all angles here. Not even concerned about the potential outside interference. That's confidence, kind of confidence I wish I had.
And Alexander is all out of sorts right now. I believe Pillman acknowledging that Alexander, he can go inside those ring ropes, but the animosity is elevating here.
Kick to the gut is even the odds maneuver, but only for a moment.
And just listen to the impact here. You need a pair of Pillman's fingerprints, just check the chest of Great Alexander.
I don't think Alexander asked him for an autograph, but he got one either way.
And we're going to see the tenacity of Great Alexander. He talks a big game. We're going to see if he lives up to it here. Reverse from Alexander. Pillman up and over. Deep arm drag. There's the Pillman dropkick. Signature Pillman offense right there.
Absolutely gorgeous. Every move pristine and crisp. The arm drag, the hip toss, the drop kick.
2 feet right to the face. And Alexander checking his teeth on the outside, as you can see right there.
We've talked a lot about Brian Pillman Jr. so far, but the Great Alexander has had one of the best years of anybody in wrestling in 2022.
Look at that chest. I don't know if waving it on is gonna bring any help to that torso.
They're trying to cool it down.
That's all sorts of colors.
It's burning. They're trying to just get some cool air on that. Cool it down. He's not going to show it, but it's hurting. That chest is hurting right now. He's thinking about it.
Of course, we know the Pillman name synonymous with high-flying offense and momentum. This could be the great success trying to dictate the pace of this contest.
I'm Great Alexander. I'm eating this whole count. Take your time, recover.
Well, he can't allow our jam-packed crowd here to get under his skin.
And Pillman says, I'll help you get back in.
Because he's in there with a true pro wrestling prodigy.
Deep arm drag hanging onto the arm now.
And keeping Alexander on the canvas. Look at how Pillman transitioning, shoulders
Beautiful.
down here, and right back to the arm. That's a sign of a true pro.
Maintain control. Don't let your opponent create too much distance, because then every maneuver after that, they're going to see it coming. You see he's going to, there you go. Pillman 1 step ahead still.
And now here's Johnny Norris. This is where the numbers game could overwhelm Brian Pillman. Leverage maneuver from Great Alexander. And I believe that's Tad Jarvis on the floor there. Maybe trying to even things up and get a measure of revenge from last time.
But no, the official's got his back turned, and now Gerard Garrett getting involved physically.
Gerard Garrett blindsiding it. And this has been a volatile night. We know it's a big evening. It has been volatile all night.
It's still 2-on-3. Johnny Norris and Gerard Garrett. I mean, you would hope Tad Jarvis maybe try to mitigate that, but still, having 2 guys out there, it's difficult to overcome, man.
out here. Textbook suplex from Alexander, and that's what we were talking about. Alexander is so slick and so smooth inside the ring ropes right there.
It's great that Pillman's here. It's great that we got him in Ryse Wrestling. You know, he's going to be great for this company, but we talk a lot about Brian Pillman Jr. That man right there, the great Alexander, whether he is or isn't, believes in his mind he's the future of this company. And he wants his due, and this is where it starts.
One to the well, once too often there. Alexander hangs on. Pillman telegraphed the drop kick attempt that time. And again, Alexander gonna try to grind down Pillman Jr. here. Trying to truly dictate the pace of the contest.
The shining diamond now, driving that forearm into the broad back of Brian Pillman Jr. Got him up on his shoulders.
Could be going for that greatness driver.
Got it.
He hit it. This could be all. This could be all here. And Pillman just barely escaped.
What a near fall.
We know that Pillman name was built on tenacity.
Great Alexander, this is great, going right to the hold. Going to try to squeeze the air out of Brian Pillman Jr. Not getting too wound up over the fact of that near fall, how Brian Pillman Jr. was able to kick out. Great Alexander's got to say, no one thought I would even get this far with Pillman Jr.
And you can see that Pillman's fading here. We know that Pillman name was built on tenacity. Pillman Sr. undergoing dozens of throat operations in his childhood. That's in the DNA of Pillman Jr. He's built on toughness, but the great Alexander could be taking him to the limit right here.
Toughness might be in Pillman's DNA, but winning is in the great Alexander's DNA.
Look out.
What a roll-up.
Inside cradle here.
Connects with the big chop. We're going to see it this time connect, a big forearm.
Alexander almost got taken out of his shoes that time.
Huge backdrop. Three-point stance into the corner. Wow, what a chop.
Beautiful bridge there, shoulders down.
And just like that, that's how fast the momentum can turn. Great Alexander might not even know where he is at the moment.
We talked about Pillman's tenacity. We're seeing great Alexander step up his game as well. Now Gerard, Garrett again getting involved. Now we've got a fight on the outside, we've got a fight on the inside. Alexander avoids the contact.
Jarvis,
Pillman
wow,
does
right
not.
in the nose.
That could have been a knockout shot right there. Hooks the leg.
Unbelievable.
Inches away.
Listen, get it out of your head. Get it out of your head.
Alexander is in near tears in there.
He's got to get it out of his head and keep pursuing the victory. No one thought you would keep Pillman Jr. down for that long. No one thinks you're going to get the three. You got to push ahead.
And now we can see Alexander digging even deeper into the playbook here. Maybe trying to go for a submission. Pillman out the back door. Shoulders down. Man, is this evenly matched.
Which is incredible when you think about what that means for the great Alexander, that this is so evenly matched.
Could be going for that greatness driver again. Pillman out the back door.
The kick connects. The lariat connects.
Alexander almost taken out of his boots.
Wow,
oh,
beautiful.
Nasty neck breaker. Nasty impact, and that'll do it.
Got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match is our resultant of pinfall, Brian Pillman Jr.
What we just saw right there is whether it's on TNT, TBS or IndyWrestling.us, Brian Pillman Jr. always brings the fight. The second generation loose cannon, successful in his Ryse debut.
Introducing first, from Wilmington, North Carolina, standing at 6 feet, 6 inches tall, and weighing in at 280 pounds, he is Holloway, Sam Holloway!
A big, mean, bad hombre you're seeing right there. A Division I football player for the University of Cincinnati. Sam Holloway is pure, unfiltered power.
He's big, he's mean, he's nasty. He brings a fight.
Of course, second half of Ryse Pro Wrestling for IndyWrestling.us, January 14th, 2023. My name's Jim Amata. You're still Ty Cross. And after what we've seen so far, Ty, you know the momentum for this barn burner evening going to continue forward here, and things are going to get a little bit bigger and a little bit badder when we see two big men battle it out here.
Introducing his opponent, from Cranberry, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 235 pounds, headshot, Colby Red!
This young man looking to define his own way, define his own path. But he's got a pretty big damn roadblock in Hardway Holloway. We've seen Colby Red have a tremendous combination of size, speed, agility, and power. He will need all of those attributes to turn back the challenge of Sam Holloway tonight.
You could argue that the only piece missing in the success puzzle for Colby Red was the attitude. And with the attitude shift, you could see he's more focused than he's ever been.
You want to talk about focus, Ty? You're right. Look at those eyes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
Look at this.
These two bulls, man. This is going to be a slugfest right here.
You know, when things get uber intense, I tend to stand up over here at this commentary table. These two are chest to chest, and I got to get on my feet already. The intensity. I mean, you could cut it with a knife here, Jim.
Sam Holloway, just 22 years old, Ty.
And there isn't a lot of talent in this locker room that is head and shoulders above Colby Red in terms of size, but we're seeing it here with Holloway.
Man, and you can see the height advantage that Holloway able to swing down to whereas Colby having to swing up, the momentum on the side of Holloway in terms of the leverage.
Wow.
Man, look how intense, look how impactful Holloway is.
A maneuver like that doesn't work for everybody. The strength it takes to throw someone's leg down and their whole body bend with it, very impressive.
And this may be what Colby's going to have to try to employ, try to use that speed. He's a little leaner than Holloway. Of course, Holloway with that football background. This may be how Colby's going to have to stick and move. What agility from the big man right there, launching himself at Holloway.
And I think I saw Holloway's neck whip a little bit of whiplash there. I mean, this could be, that was early. Holloway's a big, tough dude, but, I mean, it could end early with you know, if there was enough damage done there. Whiplash, definitely something to worry about.
Holloway is raw bone power, and that's why you're seeing Colby stick and move, hit quickly.
Caught him.
And how many people could catch Colby and his spine bending around that post and onto the apron?
How impressive. How impressive.
There are very few men in wrestling today that could do that to someone like Colby. Hardway Holloway gonna live up to that moniker. And just stepping on the sternum. That is the bona fide mean streak, the nasty side of Holloway. Pick up here, bottom drops out. Sam Holloway letting gravity do the work that time.
You think someone, a decorated collegiate athlete like Holloway, gets into wrestling just because football isn't violent enough?
I think that Holloway just enjoys the chance to legally beat somebody up.
Colby Red's in a bad way here. We've seen Colby in a bad way before, but I don't think ever with an opponent this size. Not just height, not just width, not just strength, but size.
Again, you're seeing that size advantage come into play as Sam Holloway going to look to box Colby in the corner here.
Oh, no. Wow.
Look at how miserable Sam Holloway is inside those ring ropes. That demeanor is going to tell you the story of the nasty side that he brings to the table.
I don't think he's miserable. You know what's scary? I think that's his happy face, Jim. I think he's having the time of his life right now. Colby's going to get out of the way here, and he does.
Hesitation from Holloway. Going to cost him here. Shotgun drop kick from the big man.
Keep that offense going, Colby. Oh, I don't know if he's going to be able to get him up and over. No, not enough.
Holloway shrugs off
Wow!
Colby and just flatten him with that big foot.
That's the second pinfall attempt I've seen from Holloway where he just jams the knee into the chin. We were talking earlier about that forearm across the face, but the knee into the chin. How disrespectful.
And this chin lock here, you saw Holloway just manhandle Colby.
See, Colby's covering his mouth. I mean, the damage that knee to the face does to the lips, to the teeth. Colby could be bleeding out of his mouth right now. I can't tell.
Colby getting back up to his feet here, fighting his way out, but only a momentary.
What an axe handle. You see, driving, he's trying to drive through the chest with that axe handle, but Holloway's so big and thick that he's making the contact and just ricocheting off the chest.
Holloway intercepts.
They're connected.
Returns the favor, put Holloway down to the canvas.
Are we going to see this German here? Oh my!
What power! What power!
Colby Red on another level right now.
Colby gonna measure him. Colby's gonna take his shot. This could be Colby's chance here. All it takes is one shot. Colby's proved that in his career time and time again.
One thing we see with giants, with monsters in the ring, is when they do take that kind of offense, they're not used to it. Not everybody gets them off their feet, so when it happens, it's so jarring. Oh, wow!
Pump handle throw, domination. Domination personified from Holloway, hooks that leg. And Colby just barely escapes. It is very rare we see Colby Red in this type of jeopardy. But that's
coming off.
That big man right there, Sam Holloway, was the one that did it.
And he doesn't want to just beat you anyway. He wants to beat you the hard way. And I think he's going to go for it right here.
Holloway measuring Colby. And he may look to put Colby through the canvas.
The knee caught under the chin. Wow!
On the button that time.
Under the chin again. Is he going to get him over? Falcon arrow! He got him!
What a fight. What a matchup. And what a victory.
As a result of a pinfall, headshot, Colby Red!
Colby starts off 2023 with a big, no pun intended, win here in Ryse Wrestling.
I gotta say it right now. Right here on IndyWrestling.us, I sincerely believe that Colby Red is going to have a banner year here in Ryse Pro Wrestling. That is a special athlete right there. Mark my words, we're going to be talking about Colby Red throughout 2023. Let's give it up one time for Nick Brown.
Introducing first, riding in from Gerard, Wyoming, he is the leader of the Cowpoke team, Cowpoke.
This is a young man that has been adopted by this Uniontown crowd. And he will need the support of each and every one of these Uniontown fans because quite simply, tonight is the biggest matchup in the young career of Cowpoke Paul.
And introducing his opponent, he is the first ever Ryse Grand Champion. Welcome back to the Stronghold, Tiger Style,
Perhaps the most popular competitor in the history of Ryse Wrestling, Lee Moriarty.
Before you saw him on TNT, before you saw him on TBS, before you saw him in Jacksonville, you saw this young man, Lee Moriarty, in Ryse Pro Wrestling, a product of the Stronghold, just as we all predicted, shines weekly on national television.
The first ever Ryse Grand Champion. And when Lee left the company, a vacuum for popularity was created. And you can argue that Cowpoke Paul is the new most popular competitor in Ryse Wrestling. So what's this crowd gonna do, Jim?
Ty, we should note that originally it was to be Brandon K against his most prized student, Tiger Style Lee Moriarty. Brandon was in the hospital with pneumonia earlier this week, so that matchup is being rescheduled. Because quite frankly, Ryse Pro Wrestling gives the fans their money's worth, gives them the best entertainment possible. Brandon K with pneumonia was not going to be the matchup that we wanted to deliver to our fans. So it is Cowpoke Paul seizing the rare opportunity when Lee Moriarty makes his return to Ryse.
And not since The Rock met John Cena at WrestleMania have two competitors of this level of popularity met in a wrestling ring. But to these Ryse fans, that's what they're seeing right now.
That was a terrible comparison, so we're just going to blow past it here.
I'm good at my job,
Collar and
Jim.
elbow tie up here. Cowpoke Paul going to slap on the wrist lock. And we know how technically sound Moriarty is.
You see that Tiger Style in action.
Arm drag off the opposite side. Some of that Lucha Libre influence. Tiger Style translating to any style of professional wrestling. We knows the Lucha Libre style, the Japanese style, the European style. That is how well-rounded, how well-versed, and how well-polished Lee Moriarty is.
It's Lucha Kings Road with a catch-as-catch-can style sprinkle on top, Tiger Style. It's one of the most impressive things you'll ever see is Lee Moriarty in that ring.
And Cowpoke Paul came out here having some fun with the cowboy hat. But you know that you have to be 100% on your game. You have to be 100% focused when you're in there with someone the caliber of Moriarty. And conversely, Moriarty doesn't want to take someone like Cowpoke Paul lightly because quite frankly, Cowpoke Paul could be the Rookie of the Year in 2022 for all of Pittsburgh wrestling. That covers a lot of ground.
These people here know what Cowpoke Paul can do in the ring, but he's not internationally known. So a loss to Lee for Cowpoke, it's almost expected, but a loss to Cowpoke for Lee is an international shock.
Well, we're seeing some fun and games here, but I believe the intensity is going to notch up.
Oh, Lee!
And Lee Moriarty is done playing games. Lee Moriarty will not be embarrassed by Cowpoke Paul or anybody else.
This is not the Lee Moriarty that left Ryse Wrestling. This is a different attitude. This is a different competitor. And it's quite frankly scary to think
Well, this is a Shark Tank, Ty. This business is a Shark Tank. It's not about being friends. It's not about being pals. It's about getting it done inside that squared circle. And Lee Moriarty is a part of All Elite Wrestling because he's a serious professional.
Lee Moriarty put pen to paper for All Elite Wrestling, and it changed the man. And I wouldn't argue for the better. Cowpoke hanging on there, baiting Lee in.
And if Cowpoke Paul continues to try to play games, he's going to be looking up at the lights.
It's not playing games. It's catching your opponent off guard.
Intercepts the leg here.
Oh, he's not going to do it,
And
is he?
Moriarty could be getting a taste of his own medicine.
He's going to tie him up.
A version of the Paradise Lock. Milano Collection AT was the one that popularized this maneuver. We brought it to Ryse, but Cowpoke Paul turning the tables on the apex of combat.
That drop kick to the rear end, that's a hip displacing move. You see Lee limping there. That's not just a drop kick to the butt, haha, funny. That's going to throw your hips off. That's going to shift your pelvis.
Exactly, that's how you get your pelvis dislocated. And again, the physical nature of this matchup elevating here.
We've seen both of these men in wars at Ryse Wrestling, and this is shaped up to be another one here. Early on the floor, the uppercuts, the chops. I mean, this is brutal so far.
Well, I believe that some of those vicious strikes from Moriarty may have allowed Cowpoke to realize he's in for a fight here. Moriarty's not coming back for a comeback celebration. He's here because he's a competitor. He's here because he wants to prove no matter where he is on a weekly basis, he can come back to his home turf and be as good as ever. Man, Cowpoke got his jaw racked that time.
Wow.
And his face buried into that middle buckle right there.
This could be over right here. Oh, but Lee's going to inflict more damage.
And unprotected shots to the top of the head.
We need to check and see if Cowpoke is busted open here.
And I believe some of that bravado may be what Moriarty picked up from Stokely Hathaway. And Cowpoke may not realize he's backed into a corner. That's not where you want to be with someone with the surgical precision of Moriarty.
But let's talk about what a win could mean for Cowpoke Paul. We've been talking about Lee, and we know Lee is great. We know Lee is maybe the greatest competitor to ever come through this company. But Cowpoke Paul, a win tonight. We've seen him get unbelievable wins in the past. A win tonight. I mean, Lee is set up. He could win AEW gold at any point. A win. I mean, that's international news for Cowpoke Paul.
And Cowpoke Paul tied up like a pretzel. That's a good way to have your shoulder dislocated. And now Moriarty bending on the digits. That is nasty.
Bridging rings of Saturn here.
And
Kick
look at
back
the
and
pain
relax.
radiating through the body of Cowpoke Paul. Moriarty knows how good he is. Make no mistake about it.
He just needed someone to open his eyes to how good he is. I used to tell him he's the best wrestler in North America, and he'd say, nah, man, don't say that. I'm not that guy. And now he realizes he is that guy. He is him. A lot of doors are going to open up for Lee if he keeps his attitude. I don't like what it's turned him into as a person because he was such a nice guy. But this is different.
And you can hear Moriarty calling for Brandon K. Clearly, Moriarty upset that Brandon was in the hospital, so it's not intentional that Brandon couldn't make this matchup.
How would you feel if you were coming back to fight the owner of the company, the man that trained you, that brought you into this business, and instead you're fighting to what you know is just a cowpoke? You'd feel disrespected.
Moriarty may be trying to make an example out of Cowpoke Paul here.
Like I said, we know, and these fans know what Cowpoke does, what he's able to bring to the table, but does Lee know?
That was a face eraser right there, man. And again, Moriarty gonna twist and contort the body of his opponent here. Moriarty has a college education in dishing out punishment inside the squared circle. Gonna try to rearrange the facial features of Paul before this matchup's over.
Trust me, there's no better finishing school to learn how to wrestle than national television. I mean, he's been in the ring with John Moxley. He was AEW World Champion.
Wait a minute, Cowpoke really favoring that wrist. And Moriarty
favoring himself.
He's, I believe Moriarty is showing off, trying to show Brandon K just how polished he is. Diving European uppercut.
We've seen Cowpoke Paul in some bad ways in the past, but he's in there with one of the premier technicians in the world. And can as much heart as Cowpoke Paul has, can that overcome a world-class technician like Lee Moriarty?
We're gonna find out exactly how tough, how tenacious Cowpoke is. He's gonna get his jaw dislocated here. And Cowpoke with a sense of urgency latching onto the arm of Moriarty.
I think Cowpoke thinks he can out-tough Lee. It's the one thing he might have that Lee doesn't, is a bigger heart. So they're gonna go blow for blow. This is actually a brilliant strategy for Cowpoke. I got a stronger chin, I'll prove it.
We go into those body shots, being very targeted, using that precision we talked about earlier. And Lee is staggered.
He got him rocked. I'm telling you, Cowpoke, he's got a chin like nobody else, and I think he knows that Lee doesn't have the chin that Cowpoke has.
Moriarty showing what a true ring general he is, knew when the opportunity presented itself to cut Paul off. And this could be a turning point for Cowpoke Paul.
Come on, Paul. I know I should be unbiased, but man, do you not want to see Cowpoke Paul pull this off?
I believe Moriarty clearing the cobwebs is figuring out right now that he can't take Paul lightly either. We could be seeing the maturing of Cowpoke Paul right before our eyes here. The cowboy hats and the lassos are all fine and good, but it's wrestling time. You better be in there to get it done, and that's what that clothesline was doing right there. We're already latching onto the arm once again.
Cowpoke goes around the world. Big leg sweep.
Upset, no way. 2.5.
Come on, Paul, stay on the offensive here.
Moriarty puts on the brakes.
Went for the finishing maneuver, but Lee had it scouted.
Border City stretch, compliments of Alex Shelley. You want to talk about how well-traveled Lee Moriarty is. He had a barn burner series of matches against Alex Shelley in Ohio a few years ago, and that Border City stretch has become a Moriarty staple. And now he's going to rain down hammer fist.
And I think Cowpoke's out. I think Cowpoke might be going to sleep here.
This Border City stretch could be the key to victory. But
he got to the ropes.
Vicious hammerlock lariat. But Paul escapes again.
Look at the face on Lee Moriarty right now. This man wrestles for All Elite Wrestling, and he is shocked at the heart shown by Cowpoke Paul to kick out of that.
Ty, iron sharpens iron, and that's what we're seeing right here. We're going to see exactly how much Cowpoke Paul brings to the table.
We're going to see, Jim, I'm telling you.
We're going to see exactly if Cowpoke Paul has it in him.
I think the arm is shot from that stop. Lee is beside himself.
Cowpoke Paul, with 1 year in the wrestling business, is hanging in there with a national television star. That tells you all you need to know about Cowpoke.
Unbelievable! Cowpoke's firing back again.
And Moriarty got spiked on his dome that time.
What a running knee!
No way.
Upset!
They're going to be talking about this Monday. Moriarty kicks out. Some headlines could be made here tonight in Uniontown, Ty. The wrestling world could have the name Cowpoke Paul on their lips.
That's what I'm saying. It is national, nay, international news if Paul pulls this off. And Lee, I mean, he's been in the ring, like I said, with John Moxley, and he is caught off guard by the grit of Cowpoke Paul. What does that say about Paul?
Cowpoke's going to take a chance.
All or nothing, kid.
Moriarty sidestepped. Patella shot.
Lee is so quick. He saw the knee jam and then adjusted and go right to that knee. A third time to the knee.
And again, Moriarty like a surgeon in there. That's the K driver, and you know that's a message to Brandon K.
But he got it again. Look at Lee. Big running punt kick. This is unbelievable.
And Moriarty like a pit bull gonna get that ankle. Great finds the leg. Cowpoke is on an island and he may have no choice.
Look at those kicks to the spine and the kidneys. Extra damage.
Tiger style may lead to break.
What is this?
Who the hell is that?
What is going on here?
Wait a minute. I can't, am I seeing things? That's Nordstrom. That's Elijah Dean. That's the Mandine.
Are you kidding me?
They don't even work here, but they just tattooed Ryse management.
Nystrom and Mandine are in Ryse. And they have a history with LaRusso.
Elijah Dean. These guys don't work here. And Red Watson, I'm begging you not to give these guys a mic. These jackasses just ruined this matchup.
Red knows if he doesn't give it to them, they're going to come take it.
In case any of you are wondering who the hell we are and why we're here, well, just pay attention, because you're going to find out real quick.
What is this? Money Shot is in Ryse Wrestling.
These guys don't work here, and they should get their asses kicked for interrupting this matchup.
Here comes the towel in the locker room.
Elijah Dean, Zach Nordstrom are in Ryse Wrestling. Somebody has to check on LaRusso. Somebody has to check on Cowpoke, and somebody has to check on Lee.
Unbelievable. Nystrom and Dean. Money Shot come out of nowhere and end this contest.
And now the question remains, what does this mean for Ryse Wrestling?
I knew who that was. And I didn't come here to get jumped by them, but it's all good. I came here to fight Brandon Kay. I came here to fight the guy that made Pittsburgh wrestling what it is today. I did not come here to fight some cowboy, some wannabe cowboy. Relax, I'm not done talking. I didn't come here to fight you. And honestly, I didn't really take you that seriously when you came out here in that corny ass song.
He beat you.
He didn't beat me, dummy. No, he didn't. Paul, come here. Relax. Chill out. Before I drop on your head too, I'm just playing. All I know is whoever that is, you better take care of that. You, Brandon, everybody, all of y'all better take care of that. Protect y'all home. But tonight, this is about you. You earn my respect. If you want to be sheriff, you better make sure you lead the charge and handle that. Because if I have to come back here and do it, I'm going to hurt you a lot more than I did earlier on.
The following contest is a one-on-one matchup scheduled for one fall, and it's for the Ryse Grand Championship.
It is time for the feature presentation as No Pressure, Chase Oliver. Quite possibly the most dynamic young athlete in Ryse has his crack, has his chance at the Grand Championship.
He is the man who could be king. If he wins here tonight, he'll be the king of the stronghold.
And Ty, we're gonna have to try to reset after Money Shot. Zach Nordstrom and Elijah Dean have made their presence felt in Ryse.
I still can't believe that happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we're all a little flustered here. But here is a man that you know very, very well. It may not have been ethical, but it was effective. Highway robbery at the 6th anniversary spectacular. When the final 3 count came down, it was that man, Edric Everhart, that reached the pinnacle of his career as the grand champion. The only man to win the tag titles with yourself, and now the grand champion. Edric Everhart is quite literally in rarefied air. He is the only man that has the status of winning all the available gold in Ryse Wrestling.
And tonight we'll find out, is the champion made of paper or is he made of gold?
We know that one man, that no pun intended, will not wilt under the pressure is Chase Oliver. So I'm going to ask you, Ty, you have some very specific insight into this. What is the mindset of that man right there with that gold belt, Edric Everhart, coming into this matchup?
The mindset of Edric Everhart is I am on top of my game. I am the effing champion of this company when no one thought I could be. This is the best I've ever been. Nobody can take this away from me.
Introducing first the challenger from Cocoa Beach, Florida, weighing in at 185 pounds, no pressure, Chase Oliver!
And that young man looks focused.
And introducing his opponent from the south side of Pittsburgh, weighing in at 225 pounds, he is the Ryse Grand Champion, the new ugly, Edric Everhart!
He may have no conscience, but the bottom line is the results.
These two men stood across the ring from each other in 2017, 2018 in a tag team match with myself involved and also TKD. These two men have been across the ring from each other in 2022. These two men may be destined to do this forever. But tonight is the biggest match between the two and also the biggest match of either one's careers.
And really, it's a clean slate. It's 2023, and Chase Oliver could really cement his career. He really could take his own status to the next level. But to do that, he's going to have to knock Edric Everhart off that mountain. And that's no easy task because we know that Edric Everhart will do absolutely anything to be successful.
Both of these guys are in the prime physical condition of their lives. Edric's the biggest he's ever been. Chase looks like he's chiseled out of marble. And they're going to clash right here at their very best. This is peak Edric, this is peak Chase, and we're starting off here with a side headlock. The feeling out process has begun.
And one of the many reasons that Edric Everhart is the current grand champion is because of how well-rounded, how well-versed he is. There's no real flaws in Edric Everhart. He does everything well.
There never has been. It's just taken this long for people to finally see that. And I'm not excusing the behavior. He was my best friend. Literally, best friend in the world. And I've seen him go through the hardships, the ups, the downs, everything that this business puts at your doorstep. And he has pushed through all of it to get to this point. And you can't argue that he hasn't earned it to some degree.
These are the intangibles that Edric brings to the table because he's creating a timeout for himself.
Got to get a breather. Got to understand.
Make
Chase think about it.
Absolutely. He's going to make Chase Oliver get a little antsy. Going to make Chase Oliver get a little overzealous, who jumps right back on offense. And once again, very wisely, Edric going to take the time to create his own timeout. And this game of cat and mouse may not pay off because no one has quite the speed of Chase Oliver.
He got quick, lightning fast. And Edric's moving faster than he's ever moved, and he can't even keep up. So he changes the game, goes to the sink.
Swing and a miss there. Tilt-a-whirl satellite head scissor, and the champion on his heels once again.
Unreal.
Edric Everhart at this point is on his back foot, the momentum tilting towards the challenger. Beautiful drop kick, standing shooting star press right into the pin combination there.
Quicker than a McDonald's Sprite hiccup. Chase Oliver is just moving at a different level.
And Edric's not safe out there. One small misstep, and Edric was able to capitalize here.
But Chase is able to fight it off.
And this is getting very dangerous very, very quickly, Ty, because...
Wait a second. Oh, the shoulder!
And that was the shoulder that took Chase Oliver out of Ryse competition midway through 2022. You know that Edric, he studied all that footage from IndyWrestling.us. He knows what's going on. He knows that may be the one chink in the armor of Chase Oliver.
The appendage that killed the momentum for Chase in 2022 just killed the momentum for Chase in this matchup.
And that may be the Achilles heel, so to speak, for Chase Oliver. That shoulder may be the one spot that Edric could exploit, and we know that Edric exploited his way all the way to the championship. That could be the one spot Edric exploits to retain the title.
At this point, you call it the Achilles heel. We might have to start calling it the Oliver shoulder, because that shoulder has cost him so much, and it could cost him the Grand Championship right here. This thing could be minutes from over, depending on how much damage was done off that maneuver from the top rope.
And I'm going to ask you, Ty, because you were an in-ring competitor for about 10 years, about a decade. How does somebody adjust their game mid-match if they sustain an injury like this?
Well, from my standpoint, I would just tag out of the matchup. I was primarily a tag team competitor. So I don't know what Chase is going to have to do here to figure this out. He's in a bad way. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He doesn't have anyone to turn to except himself. So I guess he's going to have to look in and decide, is the Grand Championship worth me possibly sacrificing my career with this shoulder?
Well, we know that Chase isn't going to throw in the towel.
I mean, he's shaking the hand out. That means he's already losing some feeling. He's trying to get that blood circulating into the hand, trying to feel it. You know, when it goes numb, when it falls asleep like that, you're in a bad way. I think he just tried to put his shoulder. I think he might have just readjusted his shoulder, maybe put it back in. Edric now with that shoulder block.
Well, fighting with one arm is going to put Oliver on borrowed time.
Up and over!
Which means the longer this matchup goes, it's going to favor the champion.
But Edric able
like
to capitalize
that.
quicker. Chase, he went for that up and over, dumped Edric on his back, but could not recover because of the shoulder. I mean, he's really grabbing at that. There's possibly serious damage.
Well, certainly, like I said, Edric is going to look to grind things out here, whereas Chase is going to have to try to get this. If Chase is going to win this championship, he's going to have to do it in short order, because you just cannot continue to fight on a long-term basis with one arm. The level of competition in this feature presentation is just too high.
Chase isn't going to be able to do anything if he can't get to his feet. And I know you're probably thinking, well, if his shoulder's hurt, why can't he get to his feet? He is in so much excruciating pain right now. And every little bit, see the scrape of the boot. It's disrespectful, but it hurts, especially if there's an injury. There's a difference between being hurt and injured. If he is hurt, he might be able to climb back. If he is injured, this is already done. It's academic, Jim. Up and over again. Edric going for, I believe, a powerbomb for the second time.
Look out here, leverage maneuver, shoulders down. This is what I was talking about.
I thought he had him.
Chase is going to have to try to get out of here early.
That's straight right to the jaw. And a powerbomb, wow!
Ricocheting the whiplash.
And if the shoulder isn't done, the concussion may do Chase Oliver in.
You know as well as I do that if Edric Everhart has to injure Chase Oliver, to your point, not just hurt Chase Oliver, to injure Chase Oliver, to put Chase Oliver back on the shelf to retain this championship, that is exactly what Edric Everhart is going to do.
And the longer Chase Oliver is on the shelf, the longer it'll take him to climb back to the title picture. So Edric's probably thinking, playing the long game here. I want to beat this guy. I don't want to look at his face for the rest of the year at least.
Well, and that's a great point, because Everhart is now in the position where he has the target on his back. In his role as champion, he is going to have to face the toughest competition of his entire career.
You don't just take out the threat to the throne. You execute the threat to the throne. And Chase Oliver, believe me, is a threat to Edric Everhart's throne. And a major threat, and Edric knows that. He's in control right now, but he knows in the back of his mind, I got to get rid of this guy because he's going to keep coming after this title. And I don't know how many times I can beat him.
think of all the scheming, all the conniving that Edric Everhart had to go through to
just to get to the mountaintop.
obtain that championship. That's all for naught if he's defeated here.
So if he can get to the mountaintop and then bust up a couple of stairs on the way up, he'll do it. But Chase is fighting back with one arm here. Ah, the shoulder tackle. A genius maneuver.
And Edric,
a genius maneuver.
That grin shows you how satisfied he is.
Edric broader than a barn house. Driving that big, meaty shoulder into the injured shoulder, I believe injured, of Chase Oliver. He could have gone to the kitchen sink. He could have gone to the lariat, clothesline. He went to the shoulder. And now wearing down on that injured shoulder.
And this is that nasty side, that unethical side, so to speak, of Edric Everhart, because you can see he's enjoying himself in there.
The more damage he does to the shoulder, the less chance Chase has to come back. Oh, he caught the foot. Oh! That enziguri catches me off guard every time because it is straight up and into the nose.
I think Everhart, he may have been temporarily had his lights turned out there. He froze.
I don't know if it's temporary. I think the lights are still out.
That may have been a knockout shot, and if that's the case, the complexion of this main event.
He's trying to shake the cobwebs loose here. I'm telling you, I don't think this is just a flickering of the lights. I think we got a full-blown power outage on Edric Everhart.
The champion on Dream Street.
I got to see his eyes. His head's down right now. I got to be able to see to the eyes to know if he's there or not.
At the very least, Everhart's wobbly.
I don't think he's there. I don't think he's all there.
As we said, Chase Oliver on limited time, on borrowed time with that one arm. This could be his chance. This rally could bring Oliver the grand championship.
Edric smart enough to get out of the way. Even if he's seeing triple right now, he's got to just avoid the middle one.
Oliver trying to string together some maneuvers.
And here you see that is a beautiful drop kick. But here you see when your offense is all high impact maneuvers, it is going to take a toll on your body.
Back press, not enough weight on the shoulders to keep the champion down.
That's going to hurt Chase in the long run of this matchup. If he's injured, but his maneuvers are all high impact on his own body, it is going to continue to do the damage. So he's really doing some of the work for Edric, but he doesn't have a choice except to switch up everything he knows in between those ropes.
A lot of self-sacrifice
for
Chase Oliver, but that's how bad he wants the grand championship.
Edric fights out of it, going for it looks like a German inside switch. He's going for the cutter. No!
Oliver had it scouted.
What is this going to be? He's tucking the head. No! Super kick!
And those eyes right now are completely out of it. This is Chase's chance.
He's got him up in the rack. Argentina. On the knee, face first.
We got a new champion. We have a new champion in 2023.
Unreal.
I don't know how he kicked out.
Edric's eyes rolled into the back of his head. On instinct alone, he gets that shoulder up.
Brian McGowan making the count may have been what woke the champion up.
And you see Chase unable to get up and capitalize quickly. This match has taken so much out of them. Everhart might have a concussion. Chase definitely has an injured shoulder. He put the shoulder back again.
Oh, man.
Chase Oliver put that shoulder back into place in the corner. I don't know if the camera caught that, but he did. And then the shoulder ate boot. And now we'll see something as simple as an Irish whip is going to just inflict more damage.
What does Everhart have planned?
Oh, you see he's holding on. He's holding on with the good shoulder. This is a tug of war for the title.
Right on the button, right on the point of the chin.
Moonsault! He pulled the referee in between them.
Brian McGowan got sandwiched. We need another official out here. The Grand Championship is on the line.
This is the main event. We might not have another official ready in the back.
Well, we need to get somebody time. We need someone to render a decision out here.
Everhart, I thought the lights were completely turned off, but he had the wherewithal to pull the official right in for that moonsault. Shoulder again. This is barbaric, what we're seeing.
This matchup could very well be taking time off of Chase Oliver's career, but that's the sacrifice he's willing to make to be the Grand Champion.
Edric's vision is blurry, and Oliver's arm is on fire, but they continue to fight for this title. Oh, what is this going to be?
This is a dangerous spot right here. Very, very dangerous.
And that's the bad shoulder. That's the bad shoulder. Look, he has to use the other arm to push. But that's the arm that was in position.
You are seeing all guts, all tenacity, and all heart from No Pressure Chase Oliver.
But will all guts lead to all glory? He throws him off the top. No! No! Chase lands on his feet. Unbelievable. Edric knows it. This is a moment. What are we seeing from Chase Oliver?
Oliver has erupted.
What a back fist! He was going for the kill shot. He was going for the running knee, and Edric just collapsed. He's pushing him into the corner. Oliver picked him up with the boot, but Everhart was able to capitalize.
Look out.
Blue Thunder! Bang! He kicked out!
I am stunned. Edric looks as puzzled as the rest of us. This crowd is on edge to see just who is going to leave this building as the Grand Champion.
He pushed him into the...
Now that was no accident. That was not a coincidence. That was not circumstantial.
That is twice now that this official has gone down. And a low blow.
Ty, what are we going to do? We don't have an official in the ring to render a decision. What's going on?
That is terrifying to think about. Not like this. The shoulder comes up.
And almost a stunned disbelief on the face of the champion.
He has done everything he can, aside from one key maneuver, to try to put this man away. He's going for a super cutter. With the good arm, Oliver hangs on.
From the damn ceiling.
Wait, I think he got the knees up. No! I couldn't tell if Edric got the knees up, but he definitely capitalized by hooking the head and rolling through for a small package.
Edric doesn't know what to do, Ty. The champion is out of answers.
He's going for that cutter. This is it. Wait, Oliver catches it. Edric's out the back door. Moonsault, no. Cutter! He got him!
Bullseye. Game over.
Winner of this match is still the Ryse Grand Champion, the new ugly, Edric Everhart.
And what we saw was a contest befitting the Ryse Grand Championship, with two of the best athletes and professional wrestlers on the planet. And a kick to the gut
That'll
of
cost
the
him
official.
some money.
Wait a second, what's Edric saying here? He wants a microphone.
Oh, bye. Bye. See ya. Hey. We all know why you came here tonight. It's to see me lose that. And I didn't. Lee, you didn't come to see Lee. You didn't come to see Brian Pillman Jr.
You have got to be kidding me.
Speak the name, and he appears.
Oh, here we go, they're trading rights. And he dropped them.
And could that be a preview of things to come? Ty, we're out of time. For Ty Cross, I'm Jim Amato, IndyWrestling.us. We'll see you back here at Ryse, February 11th. But you have to wonder, what does Brian Pillman Jr. have in store for Ryse?
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.